Wow, they actually shot me in midair. What am I doing? No! Seriously?
Welcome back to Uncharted on brutal difficulty, where every fight is a puzzle and every solution is pain. You may not believe me, but I legitimately die over 200 times in this episode alone. And if you think that's bad, that means you haven't seen the last episode where I died over 300 times. So definitely be sure to check that out after this, link in the description. If you've never played Uncharted though, or you're just smart enough to not do a brutal playthrough, all brutal means is that you die in like 1 to 2 hits, you rarely get any ammo back, and checkpoints feel just that much farther out of your reach. We're starting here on Chapter 6.
Oh, man.
As I'm sure you can tell by my voice, I was not super confident going into this. And that's shown by the fact that this arena actually took 2 streams to complete. In the first stream, I tried for like an hour and made literally 0 progress. I think work that day was just like particularly rough or something, and I also stupidly decided to stream this game instead of a more relaxing game like, I don't know, Fortnite or something.
This is gonna be a weird one to edit later.
Yeah, you're telling me past me. During the stream, I literally had to look up a tutorial on how to complete this arena, and I still couldn't figure it out.
So I had to take a break and come back later.
It proved to be hugely beneficial. From the first stream, I learned 2 things. First,
was that the shotgun is really ineffective at long ranges. Who would have guessed, right? But the second thing I learned was actually from the tutorial, and that was how to trigger the second wave without dying immediately, which was nice.
What I did was I would take out the first 2 guys, then I would line up my headshots and take out the top 2 guys, run into this room to grab some ammo and grenades, then I would run up these stairs, and instead of turning left, I would jump right and run back into this room. I'd still get hit occasionally, but it wasn't that bad. From there, I was able to use a thing called active or alternative cover, and that like changed everything. I took out those top 3 guys, easy peasy, collected their ammo, turned the wheel to unlock this previously gated off area, and start some light platforming.
At least platforming doesn't innately kill you.
Huh, pun past me, except it totally does.
Oh, okay.
Once you get past that though, you're able to climb up this tower and find these keys conveniently on some rope for you to get back down. And what you're supposed to do is go to this door that again conveniently has 2 large keys on it. But I couldn't figure that out as a kid like years ago, and I remember just like running around this arena for like 30 minutes before figuring that out. I don't know why. Did that happen to any of y'all? Did anyone else also get lost on this section when this game first came out? Let me know in the comments below. Once you do go through the door though, you're greeted by the classic Naughty Dog stunt of a long, meaningless hallway with ammo at the end.
Oh look, it's just
I wonder what that could lead to. Oh, that's right, more death. Thanks, turret guy, for reminding me. I tried taking cover, and that didn't really work. So I tried taking alternative cover farther back, and that also didn't really work. Eventually, though, I rolled to this first barricade, and that's when I saw a grenade launcher with exactly 1 round in it, and I knew exactly what to do with that.
There we go. Okay.
So that becomes the new plan, but I still have no idea how to get through the rest of the enemies that are still coming in. After a few more deaths, I see something shiny coming from this alcove on the right, and that's when I realized that it's a fresh West 44. I'm able to rotate between these 3 weapons to take out the remaining enemies, being sure to use the West 44 at the very end to just like guarantee the end of the arena. Then you go through this hallway that you don't even have to aim to take out enemies down, which is super cool. And then doubly cool, you're able to use the turret that was used against you in the last arena. You're not bulletproof though, so I had to keep going on, and I was actually killed by an enemy at the last minute, which sucked. The checkpoint wasn't too bad though, and I was able to just quickly get back into that room to look at a map on the wall, survive a sneak attack by an enemy, and then skip a cutscene where Nate not only gets captured, but rescued by Elena, who drives us into Chapter 7.
Nate!
And by drive, I mean die immediately. This chapter was really brutal, and not in the usual like flow and painful but kind of rewarding way. It was brutal in the I literally have no idea what I'm doing wrong way. My first strategy was to just keep shooting, and shockingly, that doesn't work. It's by the time death 600 rolls around, and I still have no idea what I'm doing, that I find out that the turret also has grenades on it. That would have been nice to know like 10 deaths ago.
It has...
Oh my god!
I didn't know it had explosives.
Eventually I do make it though, and I have absolutely no idea how, mind you, so good luck if you ever try this yourself. Also, just straight up, this bridge part sucks because it whip hands your screen to the right, even though there are still enemies coming at you from the left. So like I died here a lot. My only tip is to just like take out every enemy when you immediately see them and get the chance to, because this whole chapter really just feels like luck. Eventually I do make it though. I have no idea how, mind you, and I skip the cutscene into chapter 8. Chapter 8 starts with I think the only little bit of water that you can safely swim in, which I guess is kind of cool. And then this first little arena isn't difficult at all, and I just breeze through these guys, turn this wheel, and then jump on this jet ski with Elena. From here, you control both Nate and Elena, but it's not actually all that difficult if you have a little bit of patience. My strategy is to just tap the gas instead of constantly accelerate, and then blow up these red barrels while you can from a safe distance, because the last thing you want to do is think you're safe because you killed every enemy in the arena just to die to a red barrel. Ask me how I know. But once you make it through this last stage, you jet ski over this ramp, and then you abandon Elena, which is actually kind of good because this next part is kind of difficult for some reason. My strategy going in was to use the AK on the first couple of enemies, so that way I could conserve the West 44 ammo for the second wave of enemies. After a few deaths, I finally made it into the arena where I had to take out the grenade launcher guy, who's always on top of a structure for some reason. That proved to be a little difficult because of his quick reloading time, but eventually I got him to get himself, and that was pretty cool. So then I tried to take on the third wave of enemies by waiting by the door, and of course this is when I died. And that's when I realized that there's only one checkpoint for this whole arena, and that's all the way back at the start. And that was super frustrating because it meant that I couldn't try a new strategy for the third wave until I got back there, and that just took a while. Eventually though, what I was able to do was grab the grenade launcher that the guy dropped and use that to its full potential on the third wave, and because of where I strategically dropped my AK-47, once I ran out of ammo, I ran back to grab it and just took out the rest of the guys. From here, there's only one enemy, and you would think that'd be pretty easy, but never mind. Dude, this one person, like 3 deaths for this. 4 deaths. What is that? Why does it let you just like feel? Yeah, what a great way to close out this chapter. Because once you get rid of him, you just turn the wheel, jump back onto the jet ski with Elena, and make your way into chapter 9. Chapter 9 doesn't start all that differently from chapter 8, and the fact that it's just jet skiing. And honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of the entire game because there's no reload time, and constantly spamming grenades is always never not fun. No! Seriously? Again, the key here is to just memorize enemy positions, and you'll be okay. Elena then drops you off again to completely fend for yourself, but honestly, this arena isn't that difficult. Then there's 2 more enemies across the water that throw grenades at you, but they mostly just splash in the water. And then you go into the arena that they were in, and honestly, I didn't have a great line of sight, so it was a little tricky at first, but then I just threw grenades at all the clustered enemies, and that seemed to do the trick. So I gathered up all my ammo and jumped into the last arena for this chapter. This arena isn't easy for a number of reasons. First, these shotgunner guys take like 2 West 44 hits, which is just ridiculous because why build up the concept of an insta-kill weapon and then have it not insta-kill anymore? Second, there's of course a grenade launcher guy. There's always a grenade launcher guy, and he just loves lobbing grenades at you. Third, there's just like a shit ton of guys. The first wave has a few enemies and a couple shotgunner enemies. The second wave has a couple more enemies and the grenade launcher dude. And then the third wave has even more enemies that love to run through the middle. And then the fourth wave has a bunch of enemies who just hang out in the back. Realistically though, the last 2 waves aren't all that difficult if you know how to use enemy line of sight detection, and you just wait a little bit, and from here you're pretty much at the end of the chapter. You go into this tower to take out the last 2 guys with a couple melee hits, and then like usual you have a small puzzle to finish things off. Pull this lever to move this chain, and then climb up it and to the right to pull another lever and move another chain, and then just climb your way out. And oh, there's one more guy. He took me by surprise, but I was able to get him pretty easily, and then zip line all the way back down to where Elena dropped us off back in Chapter 8 to meet back up with her. This episode, while not breaking any records, still resulted in a staggering amount of deaths. Chapter 6 led the charge, no surprise there, with 93 deaths, and I'm surprised at how close Chapters 7 and 8 were, given how different the levels were, and then Chapter 9 really just felt like a normal video game level with like no brutal difficulty. All of this resulted in a whopping 220 deaths for the episode and 716 deaths for the game so far. Wow, dude. I feel like next episode we're gonna hit 1,000. Like, I feel like we're just so close. I've been having a lot of fun doing this, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching. If you liked what you saw, you might as well hit the like button. That is literally the button that means, hey, I like this video. And maybe you'll even see the next video pop up on your feed. And if you really want to be awesome, you can hit the subscribe button too while you're at it. That would mean so much to me. I'll leave the links to the original stream and last episode and like the playlist and stuff all in the description below. And while you're down there, there's all my socials too, if that's more your style. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. See you later. My phone buzzed in the middle of that. It's just for Zennies. I don't even have to scroll anymore. I always try to scroll so that way like the text I'm looking at starts at the very top of the screen, but I'm already at the bottom of the script. Like, that's how much Chapter 6 was compared to the rest of the rest of this. Chapter 9 doesn't start all that differently from Chapter 8 because it's just water skiing. Nope. Cool. I think that was good.